here's what I'm gonna say right now, and maybe this is an unpopular opinion, and maybe we want to hit record. Should we just hit record because we are talking?
Yeah. Why are we talking about?
I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. The orange isn't going to go away, but I'm going to do that, and then. All right. Everything else is in place. I'll give us a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Perfect.
There you are, recording.
The orange gives you like a healthy glow.
Is it a healthy glow?
Well, no, it looks like you ate a lot of carrots.
So healthy in the fact that I'm eating quite a lot of carrots. I don't know how to fix it. I'm sure it's a setting thingamabob, but so I look a little Oompa Loompa today. Who cares?
Oh, yeah, but you're not
Most
fully
people,
Oompa Loompa. Those things looked unwell.
Unhealthy orange, yeah.
Right.
Well, maybe I've been in the tanning beds because, it's winter.
That's all you've been eating is carrots. And I guess candy? Were they allowed to eat any of the candy?
Oh, you mean the Oompa Loompas?
Yeah. I feel like Gene Wilder may be a harsh taskmaster when it comes to those guys.
Maybe they had samplers, like a group of them that got to sample the candy. Like that was their job, though. Like you said, taskmaster.
Right,
master.
Okay. But you think those ones, maybe those Oompa Loompas weren't orange, and then because they were allowed to eat things other than carrots?
I don't think it had to do for the Oompa Loompas with what they ate. I think it was just in their genes.
They were
the
these
blue
creatures.
people of the Appalachia. You know about them? They're like a
No,
tinge of blue.
The only blue people I know are from Yellow Submarine. The blue, wait, they're blue?
They're blue, yeah.
Are they cold?
No, it's because of this. I don't know if it's because they live in a colderish climate or what causes it, but there's a whole group of them that their skin pigmentation is like a blue, like a violet blue.
Is this real?
Yes, look it up.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's in like North Carolina mountains.
Google
in the Appalachia. Yeah,
Oh.
Google will tell you the blue people are a real thing. So I think the Oompa Loompas have a touch of what the blue people have, or vice versa. I should say
it's the opposite. Maybe the climate's constantly too warm in that factory.
Yeah, maybe. And
chocolate
like
rivers all around you. Yeah, they
need
cannot
to keep
be
a
eating
certain
healthy.
temperature.
They're just dunking each other in a chocolate river to stay hydrated. That can't be good.
That can't be good.
Anyway, I was going to say something that was
not at all Willy Wonka related.
Not related to Oompa Loompas at all, or blue people. I forget it was going to be a controversial. Oh, okay, maybe this isn't a controversial statement.
We'll say it.
I will say, I think my thoughts on Keanu Reeves, not that he's in this movie, but we were talking about him, they might be controversial because personally, here's what I think about Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
From everything I've heard, he seems like a delightful person.
Human being. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves is not going to get me to the theater to see anything, though. I don't.
He's not your draw.
No, not it. I think he is a terrible actor.
Oh, you don't enjoy his performances? Not a one.
I will say Val Kilmer can act circles around Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in agreement.
Well,
Keanu Reeves. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I haven't seen a lot of Keanu. Like, doesn't he? I haven't seen a lot of his recent work. No, his more recent stuff, and maybe because he's had more time to act, maybe he's become more polished as he's gone. I mean, I would hope so, right? I'd hope
he does those John Wick movies, which require him to not act. He just walks around and shoots people.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. See, I didn't know what they were about, so I didn't.
And I think he's tailored for that.
Yeah.
I will say, Keanu Reeves. He is great as is he Ted? He's Ted from Bill and Ted.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. The other movie that I think he is perfect in is I Love You to Death.
Oh yeah.
He just needs to play a stoned out dude. Like, I really do think that if he does that, man, I think about I Love You to Death all the time.
Do you?
He and William Hurt as those drugged out dudes that are just hired to go kill Kevin Kline. It's the best performance in cinematic history. I'm going to say the two.
Wow. Do you watch it again and again? Do you watch?
I haven't seen it in a very long time, but when I was younger, I watched it a whole lot.
It's
it was
a
on
90s
HBO
movie,
all the
right?
time. Yes.
Is it 90s? Yeah, so it wouldn't
Yeah.
Does Keanu have any 80s movies that we would... Oh, wait, we did do the Babes in Toyland, which we've been referenced several times in the start of the last few, it's like the spirit of Babes in Toyland keep coming.
I think I was just done talking about Star Wars. I was like, can we talk about something other than Star Wars? Can we talk about the dad from Empty Nest? Yeah, no, he's got that. He has another one. I have it on the list for this coming year. It's like a teen rom-com with he and who's that woman that was thrown in jail for the college thing?
Oh, and she was Lori Loughlin or something?
Yeah. And it's about like they're both trying to just get lucky on prom night. And I thought that would be a fun prom-ish thing to do.
Prom season. I like it. I like the...
So look forward to patrons. Yeah.
Love it.
I don't know. Anything else? Do we have any other...
No, you just had a little Keanu Reeves announcement to make there, but I see why you related it, because Val Kilmer... did you see Keanu Reeves playing the role that Val Kilmer's playing in this?
No.
What brought up Keanu?
I have no
okay.
idea.
Okay.
I think I meant to say Val Kilmer, and I just said Keanu Reeves. That's it. That's the only thing that's the only reason it came up.
Oh, all right. Well, I followed that path, and I like where it led. I think that's it then.
I think we're ready to go. We're kicking off 2023 by confusing two actors who I'm going to assume were never in a movie together.
I don't think so.
Again, both seem like delightful people.
Yeah, they are.
Did you watch that Val Kilmer documentary?
I did.
That's like sad, but also not very sad. Like it's sad, but it's so delightful that he made that. That he had all that footage and that
it's very authentic, and it's very.
Yes.
I think but like you said, at the same time, it's part of my recommendation. So
that's fine.
My recommendation.
We haven't even started recording for everybody.
For peeps.
That was almost my recommendation too. I actually think I wrote it down, but now I'll change it.
Okay. Well,
it's part of your recommendation.
Well,
it's your recommendation to like maybe have a chat with Val Kilmer, and he might want you to watch his movie.
Wouldn't that be great? He looks like he'd be open to it based off that documentary. Doesn't he live in like New Mexico or something? I feel like if I visited him and was like, I just saw Real Genius for my podcast and it kind of blew my mind a little. Can we talk about that character? He'd be like,
all right, I guess. Sure, whatever. Is he okay now? I mean, not okay now, but that documentary was a while ago. And
I heard that he was in, I didn't see it, but I heard he was in the new what is that movie that they were in together? Maverick?
Top Gun. I'm never gonna watch it.
Well, I heard he's in it. Despite the fact
that Jennifer Connelly's in it, but it's not enough. I'm sorry, it's not enough to make me watch another Top Gun movie.
No.
Not that I didn't enjoy Top Gun. It's totally fine.
Its place, sure.
But I came to an insane realization, and these rules now that I'm about to say do not apply to this podcast. So I'm not trying to scare off patrons from recommending things or whatever. Mm-hmm. I really don't like movies that are geared to children.
That are geared to children?
Like, or even like teens. Like, I can't sit around the holidays. There's a lot of people there's like a lot of people that go online and they're like, every Christmas I watch Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, or every Christmas I watch the Scrooge with the Muppets.
Oh, I see.
I can't do it. Like, I can't. And even something like Top Gun, like, no, that's not for me.
It's just not hitting the mark for you.
Yeah, if I was like 13, 14, I'd be like, did you hear there's a new Top Gun? I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't have time. And if I see that
there's no time for the new Top Gun.
There's no time. No. And if the running time is over 2 hours, I'm sorry.
There's even less time now, actually. See what you did there? You gave me more time, but at the same time now I have less time to watch it because I'm not. Yeah. That's really throwing you off because you won't even put it on in a background, well, we'll just check this out, and it's a short little.
No. And maybe it's that I realize, time is short and I'm not going to be around forever. But the joy that you would see on my face when I go to start a movie and I see that it's only an hour and a half, the joy of that, I'm just so relieved. And maybe I'm watching things the wrong way.
Oh, no, I think that you're a busy guy. You got things you got to do. And especially if it's going to be unentertaining, span of time, or like a Top Gun's kind of a do-over of something that was already been done. I don't know how much fresher they have made it. They're still using the same. I mean, and personally, I think we've talked about this. I can only
imagine it's the same thing.
I'm not a fan of the Tom Cruise. I think we've talked about that. We must have talked about it in our other podcast. So I'll side with you in that I'm not gonna watch it either, but for different reasons. And
I'll watch Eyes Wide Shut because I think it's phenomenal.
Sure.
But it's not a Tom Cruise movie. He just happens to be there.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen a Mission Impossible past the first one.
No. I've never seen any. Not my jam.
Yeah. I think you're fine.
All right.
The best part about that was that Emilio Estevez was in like the first 5 minutes of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then he's killed, so it doesn't.
Oh. Well.
Then it's just Tom Cruise running around.
Oh, yeah. See, and I like you, I don't have time for that.
Tom Cruise? I don't have time for it. You specifically. All right, I guess we could start
Okay, let's do it, because we're talking about all the actors that are not in this movie. But there's a lot of actors in this movie, so let's get to it. I introduce this, or walk us through. Yeah,
you walk us through. Okay. And I'm kind of glad. I'm not. One thing that we say all the time is I'm not going to spoil my thoughts on this.
Okay.
I had a hard time following it. Like, not following it, but...
Oh, I had some details.
It didn't hold my attention the way that I had hoped it was going to hold my attention. I think you and I might have different views on this movie.
Okay. Because there were some details that I had questions about, but
Lots of montages. I do have to say,
great.
After all these Star Wars movies, I was so delighted to see multiple montages in the movie. And for some reason, I was like, maybe they could have compacted certain areas of Star Wars into just montages.
Yeah, would have been helpful.
I guess battle scenes are montages if you really think about it. We have to watch Ewoks get blown up and then throw rocks at guys.
So it's
I guess that could be considered
a wartime
montage.
No, I think that's action. Montage is like we're building to something. I mean, I guess
we're building to lasers.
Yeah,
specifically
to lasers. And there's just bad. Okay. Let's you introduce it and then we'll get into it.
Let's do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. We're an 80s movie podcast, and every other week we watch a movie from the 80s, and then we talk about it. I'm one of your two hosts. My name is Doug McCambridge, and with me, as always, just swimming in a pile of popcorn.
Yum, yum, yum.
Unsalted or buttered popcorn.
So much popcorn. How fun, though, at the end of that movie for all those extras to be swimming in popcorn.
Children that showed up from nowhere. Children that just appeared knowing there was free popcorn.
Well, I mean, that had to set off quite this aroma through the whole town.
I guess this house appeared to be in the middle of nowhere, like miles from civilization.
But then houses around it.
A busload of children show up.
Well, for the popcorn.
Oh, but you're Jamie Lorello. I didn't say your name.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't. There we go.
Here
we are talking about a movie that has a lot to do with popcorn. I guess.
Yeah. Pull up your popcorn or grab your popcorn.
Yeah, grab some popcorn.
Yeah. Are you a popcorn person? Do you like popcorn?
No. You know what? Wow, this should not be this difficult. Popcorn for me is very much like a sort of the same way I treat pumpkin pie.
Oh.
In that I eat pumpkin pie like once a year, and I go, all right, that was totally fine, and now I need a year to kind of forget that I'm not a big fan.
Okay. What's your one-a-year occasion with popcorn? Is it like when we take the girls to the movies or when we...
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
But 9 times out of 10, I know I'm not a big popcorn fan, but I don't get it. But on that 10th time, I'm like, yeah.
Let's make it. And then it feels good. It feels good. Yeah.
Yes. Just like.
It's enough. And then you say.
Drowning in salt and butter. Sure. And for those first few bites, I'm so into it. And then I don't feel good after I eat popcorn. I know that's a dumb thing to say.
Well, I think that especially the popcorn they have at movie theaters, is not meant to make you feel good. It's meant to sink your feet into the movie theater floor. It's part of the whole, all the sticky things that they sell, nachos and Twizzlers. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't been to a movie theater in a while.
It's meant to elicit feelings of shame and regret.
No. Well, there is tastier popcorn out there if you want it to be. I find popcorn like a treat to have here and there. I don't love it or crave it, but if it's around and it's a tasty one.
If you just found a piece lying on the floor of a guy's house, you would pick it up and eat it.
I mean, popcorn. No, I guess I'm a selective popcorn eater as well. But
no, that's fine.
A simple question. Look, how long will it take us to talk about this movie? If we can't even answer the question if we like popcorn without a 5-hour explanation. How do you feel about candy corn? Like a Cracker Jack?
Oh, okay. Wait.
Candy corn is a different thing. Okay. Like a candied popcorn.
Like, I'm not, I don't think I'm making any waves by saying candy corn is the grossest of candy.
It's a weird candy.
Boy, you know what? I got to tell you, I can't remember the last time I had Cracker Jack or caramel corn. Is that what it's called?
A Crunch and Munch.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could not tell you. It's been years
since
I've had any of that, so I don't know.
Your dentist is very glad about that, I bet.
Yeah. She told me today. Peek behind the curtain. I just had a dentist appointment. She said, "Oh, it seems you haven't been eating caramel corn." I said, "You're right."
No siree. I'm going to announce it today on my podcast.
Yep.
I'll get that out before I get my movie title. All right, so let's go on then.
It's Real. Sorry, yeah, we should talk about our movie. It's Real Genius from 1985. This is a patrons selected film. It's relatively new patron, Jody. So thank you so much, Jody. And Jody found us, Jamie, because I don't know if listeners know, I have another podcast that I do.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Schitt's Creek podcast.
It's a shitty podcast.
It's the this one's shitty. That one's about Schitt's Creek. But no, it's called Shits and Giggles, and we're going to be finishing up, I think, in February. We're done.
Because if the season's done, what do you do?
Yeah, right. Once the series ends, it's over.
Oh.
So if people want to, then that way.
But it's always available to the people.
Yeah, right.
The people can always access it. It won't go away.
Yes. Yeah. You won't have to wait 2 weeks between episodes. You can actually just start and listen to the whole thing now.
That's great.
And we'll finish before you finish.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's it. But Jody came over from that, and this is what she wanted us to talk about.
Okay.
And I said last time it might be a really nice palate cleanser from our very weighty Star Wars talk, or very dense Star Wars talk, something more light.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting this to start in space. I was kind of concerned.
You were like, where are we back?
Come on.
Why are we floating again?
I thought we're done. But this is, there's a few connections to stuff that we've done before.
Yeah.
The first one is the director, Martha Coolidge, is the director of Valley Girl, which we talked about a long time ago.
Yeah.
And the boy who plays Mitch.
Uh-huh.
This is his second film role. His first film role, he is credited as Boy at Funeral in Going Ape.
Oh, really?
So I guess in the beginning, when apes are bequeathed to, what's his name? Danny DeVito. And there's a funeral. He's there.
The young boy.
Off of that, he got pretty much the starring role in this movie.
What else was he in the 80s? Because he was in a few things, right?
I looked, nothing really jumped out. I mean, he's a working actor in that he's still working today.
Well, in that he is Sarah Jessica Parker.
Wait, say that again?
You don't think that he looks like Sarah Jessica Parker? Barrett said to me he's like, where, what else have we seen that guy in? I'm like, oh, we've seen him in Sex and the City. We've seen him in a lot of things. This was his first role as a boy. And then he transitioned to a woman, I suppose, because he looks like, if you look at Sarah Jessica Parker in Girls Just Want to Have Fun,
So you think he just put on a wig and he is Sarah Jessica Parker in that and whatever that other space movie is?
You know how writers back in the day, like female writers would give themselves a male name so that they could get recognized and people would read their stuff because it wasn't. I think to get meatier roles, Sarah Jessica Parker posed as this male actor that we're calling Mitch.
Do you think Sarah Jessica Parker was in Going Ape and then saw the credits and went, boy at funeral? What? Okay, I'll go with it.
It's very possible. Very possible.
All right. Yeah, okay.
Do you see it? I think you can see the resemblance. That's why you're not.
I can see it. They both have a very long face.
Yeah, he's got very feminine features.
Okay.
He's a handsome young boy. 15,
he is a beautiful boy. He's
movie.
A pretty boy. Kind of. I would not refer to him as handsome. Val Kilmer is handsome. Yeah.
Is it Sarah Jessica Parker? What's the actor's name? Does he have 3 names?
I don't know. I didn't write his name down. We really did our research. I do like to think of you saying that and Barrett being like, this kid was in Sex and the City. Like every season? Like he was just like a recurring character? Was he dating one of them? Was he dating Cynthia Nixon? All right. Okay. All right. That's great. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I love it. So
Mitch was in Going Ape, though. That's where we've seen him before in our...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
and we've not... We talked about this. Had we seen Val Kilmer? This is our first Val Kilmer?
Well, we were just talking about...
the Top Gun.
I almost said Hot Shots. Better movie.
I agree.
I don't... That was it for Val Kilmer, I think.
I think so, too.
Yeah. I mean, he is a... this is a star-making performance.
Oh, yeah.
This is... You can't take when he's on screen, I am not paying attention to anyone else or anything else that's happening.
And he does it so well. It's effortless. It makes you feel like this, like you were saying earlier before we were recording, how Keanu Reeves, you were talking about Keanu Reeves and how like the certain roles he's played that you liked kind of seem like what he's probably like for the most part in real life. Kind of. I mean, in a
like
lovable way. But yeah, so Val Kilmer this seemed like that he is Chris. This is him. It was great. It was so fun to watch him perform, do this.
It's interesting to watch this because my Val Kilmer knowledge, I'm going to say, is limited. I mean, outside of Top Gun, I don't really know a whole lot of Val Kilmer movies that I've seen, especially when I was younger, because I didn't see this when I was younger. It was about 5 years ago, for some reason,
that you saw this.
That I saw this for the first time, and I watched this and Top Secret, another goofy Val Kilmer movie, where I was like, these seem like movies that I should have seen when I was younger, but I haven't. So I feel like my Val Kilmer knowledge, you know the name because it's a great name.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, is it real? Is that his real name?
Our research
seems
real low on
good. It seems too good a name to be real.
Well, it's great. Wow.
And and I hope it's short for Valentine Kilmer. All right. So we didn't do any research on character names or real names.
No.
But let's get into this movie because we open with blueprint credits.
Oh, yeah. But they're interesting blueprint. It's all different weapons.
Yes.
Blueprints of weapons. And you realize later that's what they're making, but they don't know it. But they do. But they don't question until the end. Anyway, yes.
Well, they don't question because they're young, they're naive. Like why would their teacher, who's clearly a creep, be doing anything that's
plays
wrong?
A creep in lots of movies. Like he is just creep role.
Yeah, first day of class when William Atherton shows up, you're like, oh no, this guy's going to be a terrible teacher, very mean to us, and he's probably up to no good.
Yeah, he is.
Whether he's dealing with Ghostbusters or he's dealing with, I don't know. He's a creep in everything. I can't even think of anything else he's in. No, but always a bad guy. Wonderful bad guy.
Yeah. He does a great job And he's our bad guy in this. He's the professor. So we open with, with space
vehicle.
Yeah, we're open up in space, and I like the man that's so they're working on a laser system of some kind from space to capture humans on Earth or something.
No, hold on a second. Capture humans.
Well, because they get that one guy that's having.
No, they assassinate him.
Oh, he's been assassinated.
This is like
they blow him away.
Yeah, this is like a from space assassination ray, which
capture.
is wildly complicated. But that's what they're trying to develop.
An assassination weapon.
Yeah, because these military higher ups.
Yeah.
We see that they're watching a video, like a promotional video for this weapon. Which, do you think, does the military industrial complex or whatever, whoever makes these, do they have to make advertisements? Do they have to have a video to show people, like, this is what this missile does, or this is how this tank works?
How else do you start to sell it? How do you get it there otherwise?
I mean, I guess you're right. It's good marketing. Yeah. I guess you can't just put a
you can't just call a meeting with these higher ups here in the right. You got to kind of show them
unless there's something to see.
Yeah,
they're like, unless the lights go out and a projector turns on, I'm not.
I'm not. You can't just talk to me. I need visuals. Yeah,
I guess that makes sense, and I think that's what this video is supposed to show. That they blow up a guy who's just sitting in a wicker chair.
Yeah, he's about to get his cocktail on by some waterfront property, and they just zap him away. Yeah. And I guess, I could see where he's just dead. He's just a pile of fire. Well, smoke and ash, zap.
I guess they're saying instead of going into, I'm going to say, South American countries and trying to take out their leaders on clandestine operations, we could just shoot them from space
with our lasers.
Well, and Reagan's like, sounds great. I think this is amazing.
Yeah, sounds like something we could get behind. Is it called the Crossbow Project? I wrote it down. Is that what it's called?
If you wrote it down, that must be what it's called. I didn't write it down.
Crossbow Project. No defense like a good offense.
Yeah, they even have a tagline for this weapon. This is a Saturday morning children's cartoon commercial for a certain weapon.
Well, they had to, they laid it out for us, for I guess us here. And then there's a little meeting. This video is being shown to a group of men at this meeting who make terrible jokes with each other. Back and forth.
They think it's hilarious.
They think it's hilarious.
Wait a minute. So you're saying we can murder people from space? This is so funny. And then the one guy's like, I don't know, my dick hasn't worked since Nam. Yeah. And that's a joke.
There's a lot of dick and penis jokes that come out. They fit kind of because they're not so gross, but at the same time they're just like, you're like, oh, all right, there it is.
It's very casual. Yeah, it's very casual to where you're like, I don't know, maybe a kid watching this gets it. I don't know. Yeah. These adults are having fun saying these words.
Right.
And the way we know that this is wrong and that this is, in case we didn't know that this is wrong, one of the guys gets up and is like, this is horrible. I don't want anything to do with this. I'm leaving. To where they just kind of are like, sounds great, buddy. See it, and laugh about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're the group of higher up guys. Whenever they're on, it's a very, very strange energy, I guess I'll say.
Yeah, it seems very relaxed and fun. It seems like if you're working in a department where your job is to develop things that will murder people individually or by the hundreds. It seems like a lot of fun. Just a great place to work.
Yeah, very jovial.
Yes, exactly. And you think that these guys are the bad guys, but then we see William Atherton show up, and then there's no question about it who the villain is of this movie.
I don't even think, like, you know how that sometimes the music will let you know, just the sight of him let you know.
You need to see that old ginger walk in, and you're like, okay, all right, I know what's going on now.
There's where the bad ideas come from. I see.
Yeah.
That's who everybody's going to hate. Yeah.
Right, because he's creeping around a high school science fair, question mark?
Yeah. It's a science fair. It's the winter science fair, which implies they're seasonal at the
Wow,
school.
for a year.
Yeah. I like one of the
That's why it's
projects.
indoors, it's winter.
Yeah, it is. One of the projects at the what favorite science fair? Did you ever do a
No.
knock it out the park at the science fair?
Jamie, you know who you're talking to here. Come on. My kids have done science fair stuff, and so I've helped them or stood there for moral support. Let's say.
Well, I've never done a science fair quite like our friend Mitch did. I don't even know what his project
you do?
Really...
You've done one?
Oh, yeah. I took pride in my science fair.
I've never done one.
I did one about the dentist and all the tools and things because I thought I had a nice relationship with my dentist. And so I was like, why don't I present and I did one about it was like a birth, about how what it's like when women give birth. I think it was right after my mom had my younger brother, so it kind of made sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I did that with a friend because you could kind of do science projects in pairs, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that one with a friend. The dental one was all mine, and I won prizes. I think I won third and for the dental one, and I want to say second for the.
You know what? You just keep one-upping yourself. So which one did you win first on? Was it some
I don't think I made it to
laser
first.
prod? Oh,
no,
okay.
And because that's the thing. I don't do those types of. My science was I don't know.
Well, yeah, your science is here's a book about how babies are born. I guess
and pictures. I had illustrations.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean you made illustrations?
Well, yeah, because and I'm pretty sure I don't remember it exactly, but remember Print Shop and
people don't know. People don't. You could. Just
I drew it out. I drew the shit out. I'm an artiste. But yeah. Anyway. I did not have science fair. One of the science fair projects at this science fair that we see is the alcoholic mouse. Did you see that?
What?
How alcohol affects the mouse. That's the first one we see, and I was like, "What?" Because truth be told, I had never seen this movie before. I think I'd seen parts of it, like the popcorn scene, I think, and but I never.
But that's just when you type popcorn.
Yeah, when I'm having those popcorn cravings. And I just like to watch it float out of a house. So much popcorn in that house. Modern.
Beautiful house. I mean, beautiful, but you can see, you're like, well, this is just a flimsy house that's built.
I mean, if the popcorn can bust out of it, friends, we are not doing our due diligence.
When we see the popcorn up against the front door, and I'm like, how can this front door not hold the pressure of popcorn in? I know it's all for jokes and fun, but when we see that house being built, I do have to say, I was like, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice house.
It looks like a very old-timey design, like a 40s, 50s design.
It's lovely.
In modern day.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Little picket fence out front.
Yeah. Is that his dog that keeps running by, or it's like a neighborhood
dog? Great question. That was one question I kept having is whose dog is?
It's a large dog to be off leash, if you ask me. But
yeah, you can't let that run. There's people working. This dog is terrorizing them. That's not cool. And also, don't yell at your workers and say this is what you get for not having education.
Because you're laborers, you have to labor.
Yes,
he's a mean guy.
Your house.
He's just a mean. Anyway, okay. Wait, we're not there yet. We're almost there.
No, I know. We're still talking about a drunk mouse.
Well, that's at the science fair, but that's not even the best. It's pretty. You don't remember because
it's the best one.
They show the mouse drinking water, and then they show another mouse drinking beer, and the mouse drinking water's like on a treadmill and doing its thing, and the mouse drinking beer is just sitting. It's in the opening. It's there.
I know. Hey, had we not been talking about a popcorn house, right now I'd be thinking I watched a different movie than you because I don't remember anything about that mouse. But again, I'm taking notes and stuff.
Getting started, yeah.
Yeah, so, all
right. Well, then we also see Mitch's project, which it was a laser project.
Don't know, whatever. It's just a laser. It's a laser through tubes and mirrors, which... No offense. Listen, this kid's a genius, but it made me think, well, I could probably do that.
Well, I don't know. They were doing a lot of math and figuring things out, so the laser hits the mirror right at the right spot. It's not like frying an ant with a piece of glass.
Lovely. I can't just... I can't just have tubes and randomly put mirrors in, and it would do what this.
That's how it works. I don't think that's how it works.
It's a good thing I never did a science project.
And if you did, I would. What happens when the mouse gets shrunk? You wouldn't even have to do 2 parts. You would just do the one. I would just have
a drunk mouse too. I wouldn't even have any
the
sort
sober
of
mouse.
control.
Exactly.
Right?
No. All right. I've got to leave this science for behind. All right, so
I'd be like, I'm drunk, and so is this mouse.
So is this mouse.
They're like, you're in 8th grade. Well, maybe you shouldn't have given me alcohol to give to this mouse. I wouldn't have gotten curious. I'm blaming the school.
I blame science. See?
All right, so William Atherton shows up to this laser kid.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I feel like they thought they knew he was coming.
Jessica Parker?
SJP. We'll just call him SJP for the whole time.
Sounds good.
It feels like they were kind of expecting him to come, but he, right?
Yeah, this is not a surprise.
No, and his parents, Mitch's parents, who are just interesting people. Later on, when Mitch calls crying and wants to come home, and his mom's like, "We rented out your room to the plumber." Like.
To the plumber. We have constant plumber issues, I guess, at that house where he's like, I don't know, I gotta live here to properly solve your plumbing problems.
I gotta be in it.
I need a room. I need to eat dinner with you people.
Yep.
Yeah, but so he's been accepted to this school. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I'm asking that as a question. It is a school.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's super smart. He's 15. But I guess this is college?
Yeah, I think it's some kind of like
special
smart academy or something. Smart academy. It's for smart people. Yeah, it's some kind of university level research based program.
Yeah, and he comes in basically saying, hey, it's a done deal. You've been accepted. Yep. And this kid's over the moon, and so is his mom. His dad's really weird. Where his dad's like, so are you also paying him to go to school here? He's like, no, that's not how this works. Like, I guess he's getting a free ride, but we're not literally giving him money.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, he doesn't make a paycheck out of coming to school. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I do love it how when his parents walk away, he's like, so there's no chance you were adopted, right? Yeah. And then he says no, to which William Atherton goes, it's fascinating. So he basically says, hey, listen, compared to you, everyone else is dummies. Like they don't understand you. That's why you don't have any friends. That's why we're going to bring you to this school. You'll be surrounded by a bunch of people that sort of understand you because they're just like you. Yep. Yes. And
there's already a list of people, like names that he rattles off that he's like, oh, yeah, because these people either went to the school or are still going to the school and are like known geniuses.
Yeah. Right. Yes. I love how he's like, you're going to be working with this brilliant senior, but he's also kooky.
Yeah, he's a crazy guy like Chris Knight.
And well, let's travel and let's meet this individual, because now I think we cut to him going on a tour of where he's going to be working upon graduation.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's what this is.
There's no point to this part of the movie other than just to establish
kind of introduce,
him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
and her, the
it's
girl.
a weird payoff for her to show up at the end.
Yeah.
It did make it seem like, well, we want some hottie at the end that ends up with a weirdo that lives in a closet. But it seems strange that she just showed up, and I guess they're like, I don't know. Let's film a scene that goes before.
Well, let's make it make sense, and they kind of do. So I guess that's what it is. I guess this is a tour of where he'll be going after he graduates, which he's pretty much feels like. You could tell he's even says as much. It's his senior year. He's
last
done
semester.
He's kind of kicking back. He's made realizations too that he kept his nose in the books for too long, but I love it. I remember these headbands. He's wearing one of those headbands that have the little antennas and the glittery stars or hearts at the end of it. I remember these. I don't know if they still have them. Maybe.
They still have them.
But they're so fun. And he's got these fun little lines that Val Kilmer's character says. Chris Knight is his name. Like when he's like, why do you have those things on your head? And he's like, because it hurts when I put them other places, or it itches when I put them other places.
He tells jokes constantly. Yeah. Most of the time they don't get the jokes because then he has to undercut that. Not undercut it, but he makes that joke and then he's like, well, I just didn't want you guys to think that I'm too stuffy, which I thought was also great. I love that he's wearing a I Love Toxic Waste t-shirt. But they're just, he's a genius, so they're thrilled to have him because the guy that brings him in and introduces him to some old man who we see later at the party, right? Is he the same guy at the party? And then he comes to the house at the end?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then there's a woman. And this is like, if there was any question about him working there, that's when he's like, well, if there are any questions about dress code or hours or something like that, just ask this woman. She'll show you around. To which, of course, he hits on her. Yeah. Because
he flirts with the lady.
Val Kilmer.
Exactly.
Great. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she just looks like some model that they put glasses on.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Well, and she makes mention of, this is where the tie-in comes in at the end. She makes mention of having met almost all of the geniuses on the list.
8 of the 10 smartest people on the planet.
Yes, there we go. There's the details we're looking for up in that noggin. Yes.
I may not have seen The Drunken Mouse, but I did take a few notes.
Okay. Now, is this essentially like an orientation that Mitch is at, or he's just kind of because he's kind of thrown in it, but he meets a couple of like professors right?
It seems like an orientation party or a start of the semester party, because I also didn't know when this is taking place. Like you said, it's a winter. So is he starting school for their spring semester, I guess, after the holidays?
I could see why when you know the bigger picture, which it took me a while to see what the bigger side picture was. Just because I'm not a real genius.
What is the bigger side picture?
Well, the whoever the government people are that are working with our bad guy professor, put amped up the timing of when they want this project done. That needs to be done sooner. So rather than just leave it to this Chris Knight, who's now taken his senior year to be la-zi-da about, and these other stunads in the laser department, I guess. He's enlisted this 15-year-old mid-semester to help get this project done quicker.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense because I had no idea when, because everybody else seems to be established in this dorm.
Yeah.
Classes already seem to be happening, and he's thrown in what I assumed was the middle of a semester.
That's how it feels.
Maybe it is like he's starting mid-year.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer's gonna ride out that spring semester and he's out, but they want to get this kid in on this project as soon as possible.
Exactly. So, and it looks like a pretty fun school, the dorm that they're in.
It looks like a party school. I mean, it's geniuses, but they know how to have fun.
Yeah,
they know how to cut loose.
Sure do. In their own little way, they do.
Everyone, and I don't mean any offense to anyone by this, but almost every person in this school that we meet appears to be on the spectrum somewhere. I mean, to varying degrees.
Yeah.
That girl, wowie, wow. She needs Adderall or just something.
I love it.
To calm her down.
I love it. She's like, she's very caffeinated or very energetic.
At the end of this movie, she has got her shit together. She appears to be a different character at the end.
Love will make you do that. Love will turn you all around, right? What is she doing at one point? Is she polishing her floor or picking up her wood floor? What is that thing she's got in her?
She's like buffing her floor. She's like she's sanding the floor of her dorm room for some reason. How about the fact that she knits him a sweater that night because she never sleeps?
I love it.
And just talking to him in the bathroom while he's trying to pee. Again, I don't want to say Asperger's or whatever, but she sees no issue with this whatsoever.
None at all.
Doesn't even when
she
he's
even
like,
makes mention.
I can't pee because
she says, "Is it me?
Is it me? Is it because I'm here?" And I love it how that ends because she goes, "Well, I gotta go," and he goes, "Yeah, me too."
Yeah,
it's fun. But yeah, so let's
So
we
Mitch
really
arrives.
did introduce everybody, but
when he arrives in his dorm room, his suitcases are empty. It's like a little magic show. His suitcases are empty, and he watches a guy. Is this when
I assume it's because his parents gave his clothes to a plumber.
Yeah, who was moving in soon. He also watches a dude walk into his room quietly and slip into the closet and disappear.
Like a middle-aged, balding man in a sport coat. Very long hair, though.
Yeah.
This guy, I don't know, have you ever seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
This guy plays Uncle Rico.
Oh,
in Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah. I didn't know that. I looked it up and I was like, oh, yeah, it makes total sense. I brought up a picture and I went, okay, same dude.
Yeah, huh.
Yeah. But yeah, this guy goes into
He also reminds me of that comedian, Stephen Wright.
Oh, no, he looks just like Stephen Wright.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah, he goes into the closet and just disappears.
Stephen
Wright's gone, yeah.
Yeah. And he also finds out he has another roommate. Not that that guy's technically a roommate, but his roommate is.
But his access to his room is through. Yeah. Yeah. And Val Kilmer comes in and he's the one. Again, he's making jokes about his clothes, right?
Yes.
What does he say?
He says, like, when you came in, did you clean up at all? And he says, no. And he goes, great, because my junk is in alphabetical order. To which he picks up a thing. And he goes, this is a penis enlarger. It's filed under H for toys. Wonderful. So much fun. The kid even says to him, hey, there's just a guy who disappeared in the closet. I love how Bill Kilmer goes, oh, you've seen him too? It's because this guy, for, I'm going to say, years now, has been doing this, like waiting for the characters. We see it. Yeah. We see it later. He waits for the characters not to be asleep, but just to have their backs turned. And he sneaks into the room and in or out of the closet. And has been doing this, Val Kilmer says, since the 70s. Yeah. Later on, we find out. It's a little bit strange.
It's great, though, when we get to go down there. But we're not there yet. We meet... we're back to Jerry's house. And... we see Jerry's house. That Jerry's the professor.
Yes.
The bad guy professor. We see that he is building a house, too. So he's going to be getting a lot of money from this project that has now... There's one of the... I don't know who it is, but one of the guys from the government is sort of like the assistant that has to hound the professor to constantly say... Yes. How's progress? I got to let those guys know. Right. How's everything going?
He's the guy in charge of this project because he's the guy early on with these other military guys that says, well, there's just a little issue with the power source, but I'm working on it, blah, blah, blah. We need 5 gigawatts by 3 weeks from now.
Right.
And even Atherton's like, I can't do that. That's impossible, but I guess I'll get working on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, thank you for my money because my house looks amazing.
Exactly, because I'm building this amazing house just for me. And he's, from what we could tell, he's kind of a single guy.
Yes. Well, no, he is a single guy. He just has a little thing going
with the guy's
with teenage
daughter?
Girl? Yeah. Not good.
No.
Because you don't want this guy to find out about that. This could ruin this relationship.
Now, we meet another threesome, but really there's just one leader of the threesome, right? The other... Who are
the guy
guys?
who basically looks like Jim J. Bullock.
Oh, yeah. With braces. Yes. I like how they're like, we have to give him braces because they're going to be important later.
Only top braces.
That's all he needs.
Only top braces. His bottom teeth, amazing. It's like the opposite of me. My bottom teeth are all wonky. Top one's pretty good.
Pretty good. All right.
Yeah, they're hanging in there. So this guy and 2 other guys?
Yeah.
One guy, I'm sorry to refer to him as just the black guy, but that's what he is.
That's what he is.
He doesn't have, at least the other guy, Atherton's like, oh my God, you're not stuttering anymore.
And he's like, I gave myself electric shock therapy.
Electric shock therapy to stop stuttering. And these guys are the 3 of them are working on this military project, but they don't know that, of course. And it appears to be in the basement of some building, maybe the dorm, maybe a classroom. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're under Val Kilmer's in charge of this project, but they're the ones that are showing up to work on it because, like you said, he's got a severe case of senioritis. This guy.
Yeah. He's over it. He's not. It'll get done.
He's over it. He used to study for tests. Jim J. Bullock?
No. Yeah. What's his name?
I don't know.
I wrote it down a couple of times, but.
He's Jim J. Bullock, but with very blonde hair.
Very blonde hair. What is his name? It's not Jerry. It's not Chris. Kent. Kent.
Yes.
Yeah, he's Kent.
I'm assuming last name.
I don't know.
As in Clark Kent?
No, Kent. And remember his license plate says Kent something?
Oh, that's not cool. Don't do that.
Yeah,
get personalized license plates with your name on it.
Kent. Kent's got it on his little card. Kent is he's the leader of the three, and he does the professor's laundry for him, kisses butt with him, right?
Right, yes.
Has sort of this inner battle going on with Val Kilmer's character, but really anybody who wants the attention of the professor.
Right, yeah, like he appears to be in the pecking order smarter than these other two guys, but not to Val Kilmer's level. So he's got an inferiority complex. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. But while all of this is, and also these guys are all sad because there's something wrong with their experiment. And he's like, well, it's going to take us at least 3 weeks to fix this. And of course, Mitch, this Sarah Jessica Parker double, comes in and is like, well, no, you just didn't turn this thing on. And he pushes the button and it's all fixed. And that's when William Atherton's like, you see, you dummies? Yeah. That's why I have to bring this kid in.
Well, and then he puts Mitch in charge now. Mitch is the one they all have to answer to, which no one is happy about. But Mitch is like, this is going to be. Yeah. But you could see Mitch is a little nervous
too. First of all, it's
going to be an easy job. He knows what to do. But are these goons going to listen to him, being that he's the new kid and he's literally like a kid, like he's only 15?
Yeah, it's the whole like you're the smartest one here, but somebody's going to need to teach you how to have some social skills.
Well, and that's where our friend Val Kilmer comes in.
That
nice.
is what's happening. Because while they're all working on this, Val Kilmer and this Asian kid have devised, you know what? Actually, I'm not even going to give Val Kilmer credit because it doesn't seem like he even knows what's going on. This other kid made ice, just created, it appears, ice out of nothing in this dorm so people can skate around.
Yeah, they're having like a snow day in the dorms. They've set up a sledding system.
Right.
Yeah. And Val Kilmer's dressed all, I mean, he does give you such a great fun dorm guy feel, right? He's wearing like I don't know, he's got a towel, but then also he's got this hat on, and
like Jamie, we've known people like this.
Yeah.
Like I've known people like this, and they can veer on a day-to-day or even moment-to-moment basis to being the most fun person to the most aggravating person you've ever met. And I feel like that's what you catch Val Kilmer at certain times of day, depending on what is on your mind. He is insufferable.
Yeah.
And then other times you just want to be doing whatever he's doing. You want to be where he is.
Yeah, because that's where the fun is. Well,
exactly.
So they haven't been working on the project because they're making the snow, and everyone's I love it. So Kent comes back. Kent's our what's the actor's name? What do you call him?
Oh, Jim J. Bullock?
Yeah, there you go. Kent comes into the dorms and is like, look what you guys are doing while we're working hard, right? And what's the joke that Chris says he found Kent naked with a bowl of Jello? And he was like, yeah, I was cold and I was hungry. Oh, no, I was hot and I was hungry. That's all.
It is a very weird, like, oh, yeah, this guy calls me an idiot?
Yeah.
How about the time I saw you eating Jello naked?
Yeah.
And when he explains himself, I went, all right, makes sense to me.
Yeah, you're hot and
honestly,
hungry.
That sounds
Jello make
totally
you cool
fine.
down, and being naked helps too.
Yeah.
Later, and
you did set up an ice skating rink in the hallway, which first of all is cool, but I don't know. Do you need to give this guy shit about eating Jello?
Yeah. Well, he's pissed. Kent is pissed that this is happening around him, and it's a big mess. And he says as much, that it's going to make a big mess when it all melts. And the Asian guy is like, no, it's going to actually just evaporate. Like it goes
turns
from
right
gas.
From a solid to a gas.
Gas, yeah. He goes, I just hope it doesn't explode.
Yes.
Which it doesn't.
It doesn't. I guess it was a joke. It's pretty funny. Yeah, and it just goes to show that this is it's like a regular not Revenge of the Nerds, but like an animal. This has like a weird Animal House vibe, but certainly not as rapey.
No, they're really just having fun with their little projects. Oh, this is where though it's in this scene that the girl is also. We see her again because there's a little love connection that starts.
Yes, because she comes up and introduces herself to Mitch, and I don't know, but she's a spaz. Like
she's an adorable spaz. Though.
Insane. She's got a weird bowl cut.
Yeah,
and she's
the only girl we see there. I'm trying to see if I wrote her name.
Oh no, yeah, definitely, yes. And the next day, because she introduces herself to him, and the next day is when he's in the bathroom and she comes in and she's like, I just made you a sweater because I don't sleep.
Yeah.
So if you want to wear it, that's great. I made it for you. My roommate, she does mention that she made her roommate so crazy that she had to be taken away by an ambulance.
Yeah, but can you imagine rooming with that energy? She's a lot.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So even when Mitch kind of, quote unquote, ends up with her at the end, I'm like, you are taking your life into your own hands, dude.
Yeah. Although, like you said, she's a little toned down by the end there. But yeah.
And also, for her, I don't know how old you are, but this kid's 15. Maybe take it easy.
Yeah.
Just, relax. Pump the brakes.
When he goes into her after he's been hit on by the other girl, and he goes in, he's like, I didn't do it with her because I really wanted you.
Yeah.
And he goes to kiss her with those big, soft, supple lips. Like you said, this kid that plays Mitch, this boy, Sarah Jessica Parker playing Mitch, such a pretty boy that it's very, just, I'm taken aback. I'm like, you don't want to be kissing
you are really, you're really, smitten by this kid.
What's say smitten?
I find that shocking, I have to say.
Very, okay, let's move on.
Jamie, he's 15. How many times do I have to say this? So now we get the first of our montages because it's a going to class, studying, and working on this laser montage. I think we actually get several of these.
Yeah.
I have to say I did like the going to class and it turns into more and more boom boxes just recording
until finally even the professor is left to recording of himself.
He's got a reel-to-reel going of just himself talking through this. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
But it's a montage to show you of all the work and the learning, and also to show you how seriously Mitch is taking it. Because like you said, there's a class that they show, and Mitch continually goes to the class, doesn't ever record the class, even when the teacher is recording.
Yeah.
And they're always with the goggles on for you got to safety first, right?
Hey,
when you're experimenting with lasers.
That's what science teachers say.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice is during this montage, there are scenes where actors are exchanging dialogue. And I'm like, well, this was not meant to be a montage. I can only assume this movie was
you could
well
see
over 2 hours on first
and they're like,
cut.
we're going to have to cut this all together. Yeah.
Because there's a scene where Val Kilmer's sitting in a class yawning, and this kid comes in. They talk for a while, but it's just music. It's like, this is a kooky montage. But no, they're having a conversation about something, and then they leave the room. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I was supposed to get out of that. He also keeps running into, even outside of their dorm room, the guy who lives in their closet.
Oh, yeah.
And he keeps trying to track him down, but he's just out of reach.
He's quick, that guy. He's elusive. So even when he drops a bunch of papers, he sees him out, like not, outside.
Quicker than I would assume Stephen Wright is. I assume Stephen Wright with that cadence moves very slowly.
Moves at a slowed pace. I agree.
Right. So this is where this kind of goes nowhere when he finds out about the secret passage.
Oh, yeah.
I was really, first of all, I wasn't expecting this to be a big part of this movie. I just thought it was going to be some fun gag where this guy like just keeps walking in and out. But they treat it as though he's discovered something. And I end up at the end going, what was that?
I wish we did have a little more of it, but maybe we did. Like you said, there's even montages that seem to be cut together and they were longer. Because we get to see, it's like a ride to get down there. So Mitch does a little investigation.
It's a literal ride to get down there.
Mitch does some investigation, knocking around on the door and figures out he's got to close the closet door in order to get the wall to open up.
Jamie, first of all, I have never made any allusions to being a genius at all. I don't think I've ever been, confused for being a genius. And I made it quite clear in this podcast that I'm not one. Closing the door is the first thing I would try. Like, maybe not first, but it takes him an awful long time to
finally go, well,
I wonder what happens
shut this behind me.
Right.
I mean, that makes a difference. Well, it does. And he takes, like you said, like a literal like carnival ride down into this basement domain where there's computers and are there experiments set up, or it's more just
we don't really know.
He's got his own little layer down there, and he's clearly he's gone a little cuckoo, but his brain is clearly still working. He can't help himself. But that's all we see is then when Mitch gets this
because it's just this guy
there.
working.
As though is that where they are later when they're reprogramming the laser?
It must be, but that is not made clear at all.
Yeah.
Like that's not. You need something. Like I need some identifier, a big light up sign on the wall, or
that
something
says we'll be back.
To tell me that's where they are.
Well, of course he's got all the equipment to be able to do something like that down there.
But
which is fascinating.
Unless I missed it, it's not even like he says, "Hey, come with me. We can go down to my lab to work." Right? There's no discussion of going down there.
It should be just known.
It should be known?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Listen, if I'm not seeing a bunch of Dunkin' Donut boxes, I don't know we're in his place. Because that's all I saw. I saw him in a computer surrounded by Dunkin' Donut boxes.
That's what you eat donuts and you do research.
Yeah. He is always walking in and out with food. Like, it seems like that's the only reason he has to leave to just go get food.
To go get some snacks, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now, Val Kilmer, he finally shows up to sort of work on this laser.
Oh, right.
Does he go to his house?
First he goes to his house, and I think that's the motivator to work on the laser.
Okay. All right.
Because, he goes to his house, and the professor's like, I want to see more of you in the lab. You're not even going to classes anymore.
This is when they talk about the 5 megawatts.
He tells him, I want to see more of you in the lab. And Val Kilmer goes, fine, I'll gain weight then.
Yep. Totally
He's got these fun little one-liners. There's another one that he says to Mitch when Mitch is like talking about seeing the guy in the closet. And he says something about like, no, he's not wearing your clothes. How would you think it? He's such a big guy. How could he fit in your clothes? Who's the dummy now? Or something like that.
It's great quips for Val Kilmer.
Totally fun.
In this. Yeah. So, all right. So now it's time. Val Kilmer's basically... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. This is when he goes to visit the professor at his house. He's eating a little bag of popcorn. And this is when we establish the professor says very clearly, don't bring that in my house. I hate popcorn. And
wow. Okay. I did not pick up on that. I just thought it was a cool goof at the end.
I mean, it is cool, but it's super cool because for some reason when Val does,
he's got a problem. He's got a weird problem with pop. It's like me. If you guys want to get back at me, I guess my issues with popcorn, you could do this.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I only eat popcorn once a year, Val Kilmer. Yeah. And then that would be my demise. So after they have this conversation and he really... I don't think he didn't threaten him with failing him yet, right? I think that's a little bit later on. I think that's after this party. I'm not sure.
I think he does threaten him, but not being able to graduate because he needs his class to graduate. And so without his class and passing his class,
no, that's fine. That must be what's happening now because you would assume that now Val Kilmer's going to take everything very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes to, what's his name? Mitch. And he says, hey, come with me. I have something I want to show you. Mm-hmm. And he sets up the laser to laser show up the words tanning invitational. Because whatever that is means that they have brought girls from the local beauty school in and have made their dorm now into a pool.
Yeah.
And so there's some funny dialogue here. And I know that this is not what Val Kilmer says, but these guys are like, I don't know. These girls, what are we going to do? Right. And it really is like, Val Kilmer's like, you assholes do not have my hair and bone structure, so you got to work really hard. Like, you got a chance tonight. You got to take advantage. You may never have sex again.
Yeah, that's what he pretty much tells them. It's like, this is your one opportunity. Think about who you are and what we're here doing.
Yeah, he should say to the other guy, you're not even stuttering anymore. Mm-hmm, like, you look okay. You look kind of normal.
This is when you got to try it out. Right.
Right, exactly. And we see girls, it looks like the Hawaiian Tropic team is just there, like in bathing suits, partying and going down water slides and everything. It's kooky and it's fun.
Yeah. But again, now it's not working on the project. It's not studying the laser. No. So our bad guy, Kent, sees this happening and runs and tattles to the professor to say, they're not working. Oh, the professor's shooting a show the local station?
Everything show. I want to know what this is.
Because he knows everything. He's that kind of cocky bastard that'll do a show called The Everything Show, claiming he knows everything.
Yeah, where he's like, this episode is about the colon. He's got like a little model there.
But I love it. When he finds out they're partying, he stops right there, dead in his tracks, and is like, no, we need to stop this.
Yes.
Oh, Mitch's girl, I wish I wrote somewhere in my notes her name is. But Mitch's girl shows up too to this. Yeah. And she's in like scuba gear. What's her deal? Because they go underwater.
She wants him to help her test scuba gear, it appears.
Yeah.
This is an odd bit of dialogue here. Did you pick up on this? When Mitch says to her, how come you're not? And she says, necking? I'm not gay. I was like, what? What does that mean? Does she think he meant, why are you not making out with those Hawaiian Tropic girls?
I think so.
Because I'm watching this going, is making out gay? Like,
no, I think because she thinks he means like, why you're not with one of these girls, and she's like, because I'm not gay. She's fun.
She's really silly and very strange.
Yeah.
And this whole thing is then busted up because Atherton comes in and he's freaking out.
He shuts the music off and he gives poor Mitch I'm disappointed in you, basically, speech. To which this kind of breaks Mitch a little bit because he was...
a little bit.
Well, he's able to recover.
First of all, Mitch doesn't know that he's evil. Like, I think that's pretty important. I mean, like, this guy got Mitch into that school.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to disappoint him.
Yes, and I think Mitch sees that or thinks that Val Kilmer's kind of a bad influence. Like, he's not taking any of this seriously.
But
this kid is not here to cut loose. This kid is here to learn and to study and everything. And even though Val Kilmer is like, I'm doing this for your benefit. Yeah. You can't just study all the time.
Right.
This kid's brand new. What's this, week 2 of this experience here? So I think he's hurt by the fact that William Atherton's upset at him.
Of course. And he's, And mind you, at this point, Val Kilmer is nowhere to be found. He went off with one of the Hawaiian Tropic girls. So he's like, this dude that gets me in trouble then just disappears. And now I'm in trouble for all of this. And he wasn't even there to stand up for me or anything. And he kind of goes and sulks and decides he's going to leave and is packing his bag. And he makes a call to his mom to basically say, like, I don't like it here anymore. Please come get me. And again, that bad guy Kent is recording the call.
And then he plays it in
the
dining hall.
Yeah. It's awful.
Terrible. And everyone laughs at him.
Yeah. And Kent gets a real hoot and holler out of it. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rough stuff to put this kid through. But like you said, I feel bad for him. But the best part is that the call is actually very funny. Like you said, his parents are like, well, we rented your room. Like, I don't know. You can't come back. She's
like, I want to come home. Please. I don't like it here. And she's like, you got to do it. You've got to do it. And then he's like, but I just want to be back in my room. And she's like, well, you can't anymore. The room's been rented out.
Sorry.
I mean, we needed the money. You're gone and you're not getting paid for this gig. So.
Right. Yeah. We thought you were going to be our cash cow.
Yeah.
You'd be away and sending us checks, I guess.
But that's not happening. Now Mitch is really over the edge. Like what the hell? And Val, his pal Val, or Chris is his character's name, is really nice.
My pal Val. Why wasn't his documentary called My Pal Val?
That's the documentary I'm going to do when I go and meet with him to explain to him how fun I thought this character was. And anyway. So he kind of picks up his spirits a bit and is like, no, you don't need to leave. What you need to do is kind of get even with Kent.
Right,
and
yes.
That's what we'll do.
There's also a heart-to-heart here where he talks about the guy who lives in the closet.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, he's a legend because he came in very smart but just went totally nuts.
Right.
Because he says, all science, no philosophy.
Yes.
You can't do
can't
that.
Be that.
There has to be some heart in here. It all can't be mind.
Yep.
So now Val Kilmer goes to Atherton's house and we meet a young lady named Deborah Foreman.
Oh.
And Jamie, I don't know if you remember Deborah Foreman. She was the titular Valley girl.
Ah.
And she was in Waxwork.
Oh.
She was the blonde in Waxwork.
Okay.
And maybe something else. Maybe. I'm sure we'll see her again.
Yeah.
She was a real big thing for like a 3-year period in the 80s. I mean, she's still
why she fits.
She's still around.
Bill.
Yes.
Hey, pee break. Can we do it?
Yeah, that's
Is
totally
that okay?
fine.
Can you?
Let's do it.
Do you need to? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Pee break.
All right. I don't really have to pee. So I will stay and I will talk to our wonderful patrons about. Boy, I don't know what to talk to you guys about. I feel like I'm really put on the spot here. And I guess I could just cut this stuff out if it's not all that exciting. I hope all our wonderful patrons had a great holiday, or I guess by the time you're hearing this, the holiday season is pretty much over or totally over. And I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season, great New Year, all that fun stuff. I know for us recording it gets a little bit crazy because for some reason when people tend to not listen to as many shows around the holidays, that's when we decide to put out 4 episodes in December, which is an odd choice by us. But I hope everybody enjoyed the Smurfs Christmas special, maybe more than we did. Although that stuff's always fun to talk about. But now I'm going to be really probably upset now every time I watch a holiday special that it's not the Star Wars holiday special. And I do want to know from people, it's been a long time since we've done just a December of holiday movies, but I'm thinking maybe we should do that. And they could be TV movies, TV special stuff like that. If anybody has any suggestions, I would be very happy to hear them and to talk about them. Even if they're weird and obscure. We did that one with Mr. T and Webster. Not Webster. I can't think of that kid's name, but you know who I'm talking about, the Webster kid, where Mr. T played like a mall Santa. It was such a strange one, but that made it extra fun to talk about. So if anybody has any of those in mind, any weird memories of things that were terrifying or delightful or just plain terrible, let us know. I'd love to do a little more of that stuff moving forward. I think I hear Jamie coming back, but she has to make her way up into her loft recording space. Yep, I hear. Unless that's somebody behind me. No, it's on her end.
Sorry, I have. It's one of those, not onesies. That's not the right. It's a
onesies.
Like a unitard. It's like a unitard thingy, or like a over. So you have to like strap it up and strap it on. It takes a little longer.
You can't just unbutton the butt and pull a flap.
Wouldn't that be great to just unsnap like a baby onesie would? That'd be. They should do that.
I'm surprised they don't.
I know.
Have that.
I bet they have to cut. Like it still has to look cute and fashionable. I guess. Like, you can't just be a baby with, like, little buttons at the bottom. It's also... Okay.
No, I guess you're right. 2 snaps down there.
And what if your snaps bust? Or maybe you want them to. I don't know. All right, sorry. Back to it. I was starting to get a little... I've got 2 beverages here. Okay. I had tea before we started.
I didn't notice you may have been swaying.
It was
Normally
very
I'm pretty
slight.
On top of that.
It was very slight, so... But yeah.
The one thing I did think with this particular part of the movie is I wonder if, and I don't think so, Deborah Foreman and Val Kilmer were ever in a movie together. Because these two, like, there's a little bit of chemistry here. Where yeah. And I would have liked to have seen that. And if that didn't happen, that's a shame. But he's there because he's there to talk to him about something, but also he's meeting with the military guy and the military guy's daughter, of course. And now William Atherton's really, really mad about this.
Yeah.
And I think this is when he threatens him with like, hey, guess what? I don't have to pass you.
Well, first of all, Val Kilmer kind of just shows up to the house when he's having this meeting. He wasn't invited. And then he throws himself in it and says, oh, what else do we need to cover? And so, yeah, Professor gets really mad at him and is like, we'll just take a minute. He also, Val Kilmer hits on the girl, even after the dad said, because he's like, have you ever seen a body like this? And the guy's like, it's my daughter. Which then we find out the professor's also sleeping with her. So scandalous.
Oh, so scandalous.
But yeah, Val Kilmer, the professor, basically every time he meets with these government officials, these project managers, higher ups, they're putting the pressure on the professor to get this done. Professor's doing nothing but getting his house done. At one point, he freaks out to the guy and he goes, it is finals week. I have a lot of papers to grade.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
It's finals week. And also, if pressure is being put on you to do this and to get this done, I don't know if telling Val Kilmer to shut up and get off this project is a good idea. Like, he's a really smart guy and you need him, but I guess he doesn't really know how to do this, how to deal with Val Kilmer and get him involved.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to motivate him or turn the maybe he did at one point, but now Val Kilmer's so over it. So he tells Val Kilmer. He
threatens him, and this, oddly enough, is the catalyst that gets Val Kilmer both going to class, because now we get another montage because it's a showing up to class montage.
Yeah, so guess who's back in it. Yeah,
Val Kilmer's there every day.
Well,
and it's also a working on the laser thing montage because things are exploding. There's a bit in this montage where the laser goes out and something explodes, and I'm like, well, that's not good. And then they high
five over it. Yeah, they get excited. I was like, right. I guess that is good.
I guess that is good. No, because it's a weapon. I forgot.
It's interesting because the professor basically says, like, you're done here. You're done.
Yeah.
I'm pulling you off the project, and you're not going to be able to graduate. So you could kiss the job goodbye. You could kiss your diploma goodbye. It's not going to happen. And ever the rebel, Val Kilmer then starts going to classes, which I thought, I guess Because Val Kilmer says to him during all that, like, well, you can't do that to me because, the dean or somebody else I'll tell my story to them. He's like, are they really going to believe you over me? Let's get real.
Yes, because it's made clear that the deal is, hey, you help me with this laser thing, and I'll just make sure you graduate with honors, I guess. And it is really funny how he's like, you know what? I'm going to flunk you out of school and you're off this project. And Val Kilmer's response is, I'll show you. I'll be the best student ever and I'll do your project. Like it's really funny. But so now suddenly they're both kind of getting what they want. But William Atherton's still not satisfied with this. Like he's still gunning for this kid where I'm like, no. All this money you're getting to build this house is because of this laser project and it's getting done.
Yeah.
Just take it. Just pull him aside and be like, I see that you put in a ton of work. I have to say I'm extremely proud and I was wrong.
Right.
You will get all these wonderful grades and I'll give you a letter of recommendation right now. Just be a good guy for 10 minutes.
Right. But he can't.
He can't. He's got red hair and it's weird.
And it makes him angry little guy.
So I do like how the closet guy shows up.
Yeah.
And says, hey, listen, I guess I just eavesdrop all the time on you guys.
Because I know what's going on. Yeah, I'm all caught up.
Answer to every test that William Atherton's ever given. And I'm looking at that going, I think studying for the class would be easier than reading through boxes of this material.
Well, but these boxes, he's holding boxes, but then they're like, great, so is that them? And he's like, oh, no. These are sweepstakes entries. Because
I forgot about that.
Because he's entering some contest for, was it candy bar or what was it that he's entering the contest for?
Yeah, it's something. I
like
don't know
where you have to, and so he's being very scientific about the odds, and he's applying or filling in a whatever for millions and thousands and millions of votes so that he could at least get 33% of the rewards. And so then Val Kilmer says, oh, all right, so then where did you write them down? Where are all the answers? He's like, nope, I memorized them. And Val Kilmer goes, sure.
Yep. Well, he does say that, but at one point when he says, I have all the answers to every test, Val Kilmer goes, oh, gee, and I didn't get you anything, which I thought was fun. So now I have a question about this, and we've been talking about it a little bit. Some hot chick tries to make out with Mitch in his room. How does this happen?
I think that is the girl that then comes back at the end. She's just searching for that one last. Is that the same girl that?
Wait, is that the adult woman?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this
that's so inappropriate.
Yeah. This is.
But she's looking to hook up with the genius guy, the one genius she didn't hook up with yet. So she thinks it's Mitch. So she comes to Mitch at first to say, all right, let's get it on. And I guess that's when she finds the man in the closet.
Boxes?
Yeah. She's got a type.
You know what? I mean, good for her. I have to say, if that's what you've set out to do and you were able to get this job.
She went that far,
where you're able to meet geniuses just so you can check all these boxes.
It's pretty great.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that she's not deterred by a child it's a little scary, but it doesn't go very far, let's say.
No, because he leaves. Yeah, when Mitch goes back to his room, this girl is there, and he leaves, and now we see him with the awkward Asperger's girl who's sanding her room, and this is when they kiss with his soft, plump Sarah Jessica Parker lips.
Maybe she should have kissed him and backed up and went, maybe I am gay.
But yeah. Let's see.
Wait. Now, well, this is
Jordan. Jordan is her name. I knew I wrote it down at some point.
Okay. Excellent. So this is where everything's coming to a head because finally they have this laser it works perfectly. But Jim J. Bullock smears grease.
Oh, before that, the test. The test.
Well, it's test time.
It's test day, and Val Kilmer aces the test, leaves a note with the teacher that says, I aced this with an apple that explodes. But after he's done with the test, he goes to the lab, right? I guess they're not, even though...
I wish I had done that to a teacher in high school. Because first of all, they wouldn't have believed me if I said I aced this.
You didn't
and
ever.
I could just imagine him looking and going, well, this is maybe a D+. Like at best. Yeah. But
I don't know what part of this test this kid thinks he aced. No, but I do feel that Chris probably did ace it.
Yeah. There's no question. He was, first of all, given the answers, and also he's super smart. Like he's got a lot of things. He's got a lot of things
going right for him.
Yeah, but he leaves him an apple that then explodes, which is fun.
And then he goes and checks on his laser, and you're right. He, for some reason, I don't know why they trust this guy. He leaves the laser, and the Kent guy is left alone in the room with the laser. How do you not think he's going to fuck with something? Because he even says, like, oh, I'm just going to have something to do.
There isn't even a scene where they pretend to make up and pretend. Yeah. Where Kent's like, let's just put all this behind us.
No, we just saw Kent,
best buds.
They sat next to each other during the test, and Chris was a jerk to Kent about it.
He threw his pencil at him when he was done
and was like, And so you got to believe. So, he smears his fingers, which can, I guess, really fuck up a laser's aim. And, oh, wait, when did we already
And then he confesses. And then after this explodes and the laser just doesn't work and is destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
This Kent guy basically brags about it by saying, like, you got to make sure to keep your lenses clean. Like, that's your second mistake. Yeah. Don't tell him about it.
He's almost like too excited that, wait, when did Kent, that was part of the revenge earlier when, because we forgot, I don't know if we had a potty break or just an aside. When Kent first messes with Mitch, one of the things to get back at Mitch is they take apart his car and put it back together in his room. Do you remember that?
Oh, no. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Mitch is driving? He's 15.
No, they go, the group of them, the Asian guy and Val Kilmer and Mitch, take the car apart and they put together the car. It's the yellow car that they then later drive when they go to the... Oh,
yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
That's one of the things they do to revenge, whatever. But now, this is later.
Like I said, things get... Sorry, I don't
There's
know
a lot of little things that happen.
Things get dicey here for me near the end. I don't know if I was kind of not paying attention. For long stretches of this, I could kind of put down my computer and be like, I don't think I have to take notes here. So I think I missed some stuff that maybe I should.
Well, hopefully if you did,
I watched it, but because I didn't write it down, maybe I just didn't remember it.
You didn't remember the drunken mice, so there's that. And that was at the start.
That's right at the very beginning. Yeah. I was off to a bad start.
Yeah.
All right. So they all team up then. So this is all right. So they.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So this project is the laser somehow is busted now because of what Kent did, and now Chris knows that Kent did it, and Chris has like a meltdown because it's what are you going to do now? Everything's fucked up, and he freaks out. But there's the liquid nitrogen, something's in the freezer that like bing bing. It's a light bulb in his head. That makes him realize, no, wait, we can still do it. We just can do it with blocks of ice. I don't know. I'm not a real genius. I don't know what comes to his brain. But he does it. He gets his ideas going. That we need a little montage here, but we're probably montaged out of when they all get together to try this out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But they don't somehow or quickly. Chris heads over to Mitch. They all get this thing going, and they get the professor in, and they're like, come now, we want to show you how we are going to get this laser to not only work amazingly.
Oh, it's more powerful.
Yes.
Which, why would the military not want something that's even more powerful? Right?
Yeah.
Can kill more people, maybe.
So what a great day Chris is having, Val Kilmer's having. He just aced his test, and what he thought was terrible, that this laser was broken, turns out to be amazing because he figured out how to make the laser even more powerful.
Yes,
they shoot the laser, and this like laser beam goes through the window, through a tree, through a billboard, through the whole town, basically. And joyous celebration.
They have no idea what this is going to be used for. No, I really do feel like sometimes, and this is a cliche, but very, very smart people are very unaware of certain things. I don't know if we want to call it street smarts or something.
Well, yeah.
All of these kids are lacking that because no one other than, is it the closet guy?
It's the closet guy. That's like, why do you think you would need something this powerful?
Right. Why would we need something that blows through multiple buildings?
Yeah. What do you think is going to be done with this? Also, there's a mirror that, because there's a mirror as part of the whole laser working, right? And
yes.
there's a mirror that it seems that Kent has been working on. I don't know, a giant reflective laser piece.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, they're all at the bar and celebrating until closet guy comes and kind of bursts their bubble a little.
So now a lot happens here near the end, and I'm going to need you to take me through this because I wrote things. Like, my notes are a lot like yours. They wire this dude's braces. Stop playing with yourself.
Oh, yeah.
They break into Atherton's house. Now they're in a military hangar. Like, these are just sentence fragments that are in my notes.
Well,
okay, Jesus. So I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah, because Kent is talking to Jesus. So they know they got to stop the laser. They go to the lab where the laser is, and the laser's gone. Everything is gone.
Yeah.
There's a tracking device on the laser too. That's gone. It's all gone. And there's that because the professor probably, while they were out partying and getting their celebration on, the professor swooped in and grabbed all of it to bring it immediately over to these government officials.
He's on a deadline.
Yeah.
They're probably like, by midnight tonight,
and this is even better than what they had originally thought. So he's excited to like bring it over to them. And they decide that the one guy that would know, because basically I want to call him Mitch, but his name is not Mitch.
Kent?
Kent.
Yeah.
Kent is basically like the professor's assistant, more or less. So he's got all the deets on what's going on with him. So they say Kent will know where the laser has gone, or at least where the professor is, which is where the laser would be.
I gotta say, a big leap here to assume that Kent would know. After the professor has multiple times been like, you're not in charge. You got to listen to Val Kilmer. Now this kid's in charge. Shut your mouth. Also, that job I promised you, you're not getting it. To then say, you know who her besties does too? Like,
well, I think that's their first instinct. Who else? So
I know. I find it funny that he would know anything that's going on.
Well, and he knows he's got limited information. They pump his room full of some kind of sleeping gas, I guess, under the door. And then they go in his room and they install some kind of transmitter to his braces.
Sure. Yeah. Sounds right to me.
Where he thinks he's hearing. And at first he does. He's looking in his glasses. He's looking under things. Like, where is this voice coming from? But Mitch does his voice in a microphone and says basically that he is the voice of Jesus. Yep. And he is basically guilts Kent into saying, what he knows of where the laser is.
Right. Yeah.
And there's an ongoing joke of like, and stop playing with yourself so much. Mm-hmm. Later, he talks to Kent again when later Kent's in his room, or maybe this is now when Kent is in his room. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's like brown poop hands smeared all over Kent's room.
100% I noticed that.
What is happening?
I have no idea. It's very noticeable and odd, and there's never an explanation for it. It looks like poop handprints. You're right. But like childlike poop handprints. They don't look big enough for adult handprints.
It's very weird.
And they're just not commented on.
No, and they're in random,
in
like
the shot.
Yeah. I think it's just to let you know how strange Kent is, maybe, and that he would smear poop on the. I don't know if it's even supposed to be poop, or he's just trying his hand at finger paint. I don't know, but I'm glad you saw it too, because I wrote it in my notes. I was like, "What's going on in Kent's room with?"
I didn't see a drunk mouse, but I'm not going to miss. No, you're not going to miss poop hands.
That's for sure. Let's see. So
they have to break into a military hangar now when they realize where this is being used in some sort of plane. So they have fake IDs?
I love that. They get, what's her name makes them some fake IDs. And I like it when she hands them to him. Val Kilmer's like, these are terrible. Mine looks like his, and he looks like me. Like, why? These are no good. She switches them.
Yeah.
And now, they have to break into where the hangar is to kind of reprogram the laser so that it hits the professor's house instead of wherever they're going to have it hit.
Yes.
And they also have to get all that popcorn, I guess, into the house. Like, that was my other question.
What's
like,
going
who
on?
was in charge of hauling all, like, that big thing in tinfoil? That, like, it's a lot of popcorn.
I assume it's the stutterer and the black guy. They're like, listen, you guys are in charge of the popcorn. Don't know where you're getting it. That's something that you two have to work on. You guys have to figure out.
Yeah.
And they're probably like, what's our motivation for this? Because Kent wasn't mean to us.
Popcorn. They get to swim in popcorn, yes, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so they follow the professor. They figure out where they get into the. That's a dicey thing too. And again, they're driving Kent's yellow car.
Yes.
And Sarah Jessica Parker now has a mustache to make him look older.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Val Kilmer's kind of got a great attitude.
I just want to. That line, Sarah Jessica Parker now has a mustache to make him look older, is amazing. And I don't think anyone would assume they were going to hear that on this particular podcast.
Val Kilmer's character's approach to getting through the guards here is very much like, we're just going to tell them we're in a rush and that we're late already and we just have to get there. And come on, maybe we're not on the list, but we're 4 hours late for our assignment. We're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah. You know the military. If anything, you can just trick them by being like, we're late to a meeting.
Again.
He says once, we're 5 hours late.
Yeah, they're very late.
To which the guy at the gate could be like, well, what's an extra 3 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
Let me just check this. It is funny when they go through that last gate after they lie to the one guy, how the other dude gets off the phone and he's like, just all we have to do is look for something suspicious. Yeah. And the one guy's like, you got it.
Yep.
I did find that funny.
Yeah, it was fun.
They're already through. And then they sneak into this plane. I guess they coordinate the coordinates.
And they have some chips that they're moving around. Yeah. And they're on the phone with, so it's Closet Guy and it's the girl and it's the Asian that are on the one end, kind of talking them through what they have to do. They almost get caught. The professor, who is very tense and angry with everyone the whole time, like with all the government officials, with the people that are working the laser, because he's not hands-on working the laser, but he's
Right. I just assume his job should be drop this off, get my envelope full of money, and leave. But
he wants to make sure. Yeah, he wants to make sure it works and that it does what it says it's going to do. And he's promised them. They even say, "Don't we normally test these the first time?" And this is the test. Mm-hmm. This is the test.
I don't know what this is, because what is the test? What are they trying to blow up? What are they going to shoot?
Yeah, what were they going to blow up?
Right. Yeah, who were they going to murder instead of this guy's house? And also, I love the fact that the person controlling this sits in what looks like a big video game machine with a giant controller in front of him. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a video game simulator.
Yeah.
And I guess another part of this plan is, like you said, with the popcorn, but why is Kent there? Because they don't want him to die, because they keep screaming, like, don't go in that house.
Oh, because Kent now thinks he's in his room and he's reading about schizophrenia. He really thinks that he's lost his mind a little bit.
Oh.
So he says...
So he just wants to talk to the professor?
Yeah, he says, I'm going to go to the professor's house and find Jesus there. And it's funny when he first does, because he goes in. They just want Kent to see what all of it.
Oh, they don't want him to go in the house, but they want him to be there
because they try to stop him from going in the house. Yeah.
Right. I didn't think they lured him to the house in the first place. I just thought he ended up there. And they're like, no, he might die.
I think they came back in through whatever.
It is funny, though, when he shows up and they're still talking to him on his braces.
Yeah.
And they're like, have you been playing with yourself? And I love how his response is, yes.
Yeah.
It's really good. He walks inside and sees a giant, aluminum foil ball of popcorn. He doesn't know
it's popcorn. No.
Right. But this is when the laser beam.
Oh, wait. In the meantime, they've also gathered, besides getting Kent there, they've gathered like the dean from the school and
weird,
some congressmen.
guy.
Yeah. And some congressmen. I think, right?
Because they're like, see this, Mr. Congressman.
Because now they want proof. They want to show everybody what a shady guy the professor is. And this is when Val Kilmer has the same slippers as the dean or whoever.
How is this proving anything? How is this guy's house exploding of popcorn? This congressman going to be like, well, I guess you showed us all that he's evil?
Well, because I think it shows that he was abusing these kids by making them work on this project on the side. Probably didn't tell the school that he had this whole deal.
Yeah, you have enough people to testify against him. Okay, that's a good point. Okay.
So, but now, like you said, even though they're trying to scream at him, don't enter the building, Kent enters the house.
Right.
Because he's waiting for God, because the God stops talking to him, or Jesus stops talking to him.
Yes.
And he says, well, I'm just going to go inside then if you don't. And that's when the laser comes shining through the stained glass window. And it's like this bright light. And Kent is like, oh my God, this is Jesus.
Like, oh my God, I really have schizophrenia.
Yeah,
like
this is all
serious.
And then it heats up the tinfoil, which is a ton of popcorn, which Kent again is like, oh my God. And yeah, suddenly they realize, the professor and the government officials all realize something's gone very, very wrong with this laser. And
the house explodes with popcorn. That's how wrong this is. And now, okay, so first of all, while all of this is happening, the guy who lives in the closet shows up with that woman who's really into smart guys, and she says, I have a survival place in Wyoming, and so we're going to live there now. And I think he even says, we're married. Yeah. All of this happened very quickly.
Very quickly. And he's got a Winnebago, which I think was one of the winnings from all of the sweepstakes that he entered.
All the sweepstakes, yes, exactly. And then random kids come out of nowhere to play in popcorn.
It's so much popcorn. They could swim in it. How fun.
They could swim in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everybody wants to rule the world starts playing. Yep. That's how this ends.
And the professor ends up going back to his house, doesn't he? And the dog comes barking by.
He's upset. We don't see him being arrested or anything. No. Not that we need to see this, but it's a very, very strange ending to this movie. But also, it's a kooky 80s teen romp. Yeah. So, yeah, like people rolling around in piles of popcorn kind of is par for the course. Yeah. And that's it. That's how it ends.
Yep.
Final thoughts.
Real Genius is Real Genius. I enjoyed it. Okay. I really did like it. It was a lot of fun. Val Kilmer was fun. I liked the story. I liked that it highlighted, like, quote, nerds, you know, and their plight. I liked that everyone, I liked it. The bad guys were dislikable and the good guys were very likable. And I enjoyed it. I had fun with it.
It's really funny how now, like currently, I guess nerds are popular. And I don't know if it has to do with Big Bang Theory or that was just part of it. But it's surprising that it didn't happen in the 80s. I feel like there's a lot of these movies that were trying to prop nerds up, but I guess it just didn't take.
Well, I think it did because you had like the alt kind of vibe, right? That's what the 90s alternative kind of was like.
I guess.
Gone naughty? I don't know.
Nerds Gone Naughty? Jimmy, that sounds like some weird porno you make. Nerds Gone
That's my
naughty.
Recommendation, actually. Showtime After Dark. No.
That's your Real Genius porn parody.
The 80s.
Nerds Gone Naughty.
Yeah. The 80s was just about shoving that like typical 80s. I don't know. I don't know why. You're right. Wow. I don't know why the nerd stuff didn't, but it kind of did. It kind of had its own little place.
Yeah, I just feel like it didn't go as far as it is now.
Well, I think that's because the vibe of the 80s.
Where it's like, oh boy, remember how if you liked superhero stuff, you were a nerd? Now everybody loves superhero shit.
Yeah, and you're super
everybody
cool
loves
if you're that
comic
way. Yeah.
books and stuff like that. I just don't feel like it was as widely accepted then.
I'm glad it is now.
But
I'm glad we evolved. But you didn't like it.
I think you and I are a little split on this.
Yeah.
I was, it felt a little bit too long.
Oh.
And while I everything I enjoyed about this had kind of nothing to do with the plot. I didn't care about lasers. I didn't
No.
care about the bad guy. Like I kind of just felt like, oh, I could just hang out in this dorm for a while. Like let me just give me a movie where they're hanging out. I don't need bad guys. I don't need. Well, that's dumb to say because I feel like you kind of
then
need
you did.
some
Otherwise,
sort
then
of.
it's just like a.
Yeah, then it's just a hangout movie, but it could have just been a hangout movie.
For
It
you,
could have
yeah.
just been a movie about this kid who realizes that there's more to life than studying. And I think you could have done that without the lasers and the bigger. I don't know. I don't know. This didn't really work for
Didn't
me.
hit the mark for you.
Yeah,
All right.
It didn't. But speaking of hitting the mark, what hit the mark with you as far as some sort of recommendation?
Oh, well, I have to honestly say I didn't think really hard about it. I just didn't.
Nobody's gonna know. You could pretend you did.
I know, but I'm thinking now if there's any kind of like all about the smart guy.
Why? Wait, you had a recommendation.
Oh yeah, my recommendation.
And I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm trying to think if there was another like, but there's not.
Right.
So my recommendation would be that Val Kilmer documentary. It's really well done.
What's it called?
It's really sweet.
I don't mean to
My
put you on
Pal
the spot.
Like
Val, you made this. So are you your own pal?
I mean,
I'm not sure.
It was
about
made
this
by
title.
his son, though, wasn't it? Put together, and it's really good because you realize.
Oh, I thought he made it.
I thought it was his son that did it.
Oh, okay.
Val Kilmer documentary.
Shows what I know. I didn't even know Val Kilmer had a son.
Oh my God! Did you watch the documentary?
I did. It was a while ago.
Available on
it.
Netflix. What we learned from Val. It's called Val.
Oh, it's just all right. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
It's a personal. It is a very intensely personal portrait, and it really does show you like that he. I don't know. There was another. Oh gosh, what's the singer's name that they did? Oh, there's a female singer, and now I'm blanking on her name, where they did a similar documentary about her, and similarly, she lost her voice. Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, okay.
That too is
idea.
another great documentary.
Okay.
And what a rocker Linda Ronstadt was. So, okay, I'll recommend 2 documentaries, back-to-back documentaries for the listeners. One would be Val. This, it's got really great never-before-seen footage spanning his 40-year career.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. Like, I love the fact that before cell phones and we all had recording devices in our pockets, he sort of documented much of his youth.
Yeah.
And what a fun idea.
Yeah.
That I feel like, why did nobody else do this? I know we were talking about Tom Cruise and he's a big weirdo, so maybe that's why, but why didn't anybody else be like, oh yeah, let's go out and get a camcorder that costs a ton of money that you had to put the old VHS tapes in. They were that big and just do this same thing. It's really surprising.
Yeah. It shows you what an artist he really truly was, always is. And now he I want to say they live in New Mexico or something, lives next to his daughter. Like his kids are in it. It's really very sweet. And the same thing, let me look up the Linda Ronstadt one so people know what it is. It's very good.
I'm just hoping that, younger people now who are getting into the industry and are coming up might be doing the same thing. Just do this.
Yeah,
because when you're
of are. Isn't that what YouTube
when
is?
you're done and you're a thing of the past, then you can put together a documentary and be like, oh look, I did stuff once, and I was, and I'm not saying that that's what Val Kilmer is now, but not trying to, undersell his current appeal. I don't know if there's much of a current appeal for Val Kilmer, but you said based on the commercials, he's in that new Top Gun movie.
Yeah, I think he is, and I think he's sick in it. So yeah, my recommendations: Val and The Sound of My Voice, the Linda Ronstadt documentary.
Fantastic. Right. 2 recommendations.
That's 2.
Sometimes you don't have a single one.
I know.
You're making up for past episodes right now. My recommendation isn't very good, but if people are watching me and, we did that movie there.
Oh, well, yeah, we did.
What's it called?
I'm trying
to forget. The something? Little Darlings.
Little Darlings, yeah.
The poster above that is for a movie. And I've had this poster for a long time because a little, information that nobody really needs to know. For my master's degree, I didn't have to do a thesis. Mm-hmm. Getting a master's in graphic design is, I think, first of all, bullshit anyway. But I did it. I had to do it. And all you had to do at the end was to make a book. You had to create a book. You had to design a book and have it printed. And like a coffee table book. Mm-hmm. And my book, for some reason, I don't know why I came up with this, was on the history of Eastern European movie posters.
Love it. Love it.
So I would see these, doing research and designing the book. Mm-hmm. This poster looks really creepy and weird. Mm-hmm. And it's for a Polish movie called I Like Bats.
Bats?
And it's Bats. It's a vampire movie. And I've had that poster for so long. And I'd never seen the movie.
Did you watch it?
Recently, I watched it. And it's pretty great. Because I really loved the poster. I thought it was great, and it's a gorgeous poster. And I was like, what a stupid name for this movie. I'm sure it's bad. I finally watched it, and it's really interesting and weird. And yeah, people should check that out. That's my recommendation.
All right.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, Jamie, I said that this month is called Listener Request Month. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do our second of 2 listener request episodes next time. 2. We are going to watch Victor Victoria.
Oh, okay.
Apparently a musical?
Yep. You love a musical.
Oh, okay. Wait a second. Hold on. Do you know anything about this?
I think
you said yep as if you... Oh.
Yeah.
Julie Andrews?
Yeah.
I think it might be our first Julie Andrews joined.
Awesome.
So, we're going to do that. That was requested by Laura, who joined us for our Summer of Sidekicks for that. Yes. What was that witch movie?
Oh, the one where she's a teen witch?
No. The one with Tim Daly.
Oh.
It was really good.
Yeah. Why can't I think of the name of it?
Spellcaster, Necromancer.
Yeah.
Yes, something.
That was really good.
That was really good. Oh my God, I want to watch that movie again.